Welcome everybody to this first week 1 TV show. Welcome. Hopefully we're all broadcasting excellently, and I hope you enjoy what is going to be an action-packed show this week. The purpose of these in-between module shows is one, to keep you a bit motivated. As I wrote during the week, in some ways the hardest part of the challenge is your off weeks and what you do. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to look at some of the motivations behind what we do. We're going to go into in-depth explanations. Also going to talk about what's coming up and, of course, show you here what's going on. We've got fancy pants new camera shots here. So we've got this shot, for example, up there. And, of course, we've got our good old desktop presenter here as well, so we can show you guys what is going on. So with that, now, of course, I've got to remember where I'm looking. Here we are. So let's get cracking straight off. Now, let's see, what are we going to pick first, I think. Let's have a look at some of the training pages and some of the features which I think a couple of people might be missing here. So I'm going to go to the screen here and show you a couple of the key things that I'd like to highlight. So first of all, let's press the right button. There we are, and we'll click on that. And one of the things that we'll do is we will go to the challenge page. Now I'm going to try something here. Ooh, it does work. How exciting. Excitement plus. All right, good. Good to know. Now, of course, when you come to the challenge site, we all know, hopefully by now, to hit the member access button. And that will take us, of course, into our blog. You'll see that I've got my Chrome extensions going there. And here we are at our blog. Now, what I'd really love to encourage you guys to do, because it would be a big help to us and also helpful to people who are following you, is to hit, when you like something genuinely, don't hit it just because you can, so to speak, but if you like it, we'd love you to hit the like button. And once you've logged in once, you can see there it's actually very easy. Now I've liked myself, so that's probably, that's a bit, I might go blind, but please, would encourage you to do so. Now, when we get onto the training page, you can see here that each module, and now you're starting to get the feel of it, day one, each module is a highlighted button as we go through here, and you can click on any of these modules to go into the appropriate day. So if we click on day 7, we've got good old Rob Somerville doing an excellent... I loved this video. I hope people watch the video on day 7 because there's a whole bunch of Easter eggs there for you. But what is very interesting, and I'm going to give a $20 iTunes voucher. Somebody's going to have to monitor this because I'm not watching the chat at the moment. But there's one marketer that you've all missed when you've been talking about this. Very, very disappointed. But but check it out. Now, the other thing we'd love you to do is, you can see here, we'd love it if you liked the lesson, we'd love you to like it. We'd also love you to hit the retweet button, and retweet would be wonderful as well. Would really appreciate that because as you will learn as we go in the challenge, these sorts of things are very, very useful and important. And when you get into your own markets, you'll be wanting to encourage your markets to do the same. Now, a couple of really cool features. First of all, I want to explain that you've got 3 different size videos here. We've got our high definition, which is the ultimate. It is literally a HD version of all the training. And yes, if you want to be famous, now would be a good time to @ me. Be nice though, please. The first one link here is a HD link. Now, if you are, you really want to, as you can see with, I don't know if you can see the pop-up actually, But there is a pop-up if you hover over things, and it says literally right-click to download the HD version. You potentially, possibly could stream if you had the most awesome connection ever known to persons, humankind. But as a general rule, you want to right-click and you want to go and download. And the save on the Mac, it's sort of like save link as. And then we've got our SD version. I love the SD version in particular if you are on a computer. Now, I'm going to push all sorts of... I'm getting all sorts of gods angry by doing this.
Isn't it cool? That's the beauty of this year's challenge. You've only had to go for 7 days. You're about to have a 7-day break. You can't believe it. You might want to walk along.
So you can see there, and now I better stop. I'll get off this page because otherwise I'll be dragging down performance. But you can see there how there's you've got the SD version. Of course, the iPhone version is fantabulous for watching on the iPhone. And now, when I say iPhone, of course, any mobile device will work. And finally, and I hope you guys have seen this, is the transcripts. And of course, you can right-click to download the transcripts. But I've got to say, and if I just bring up a new tab here, here we go. I'll just show you this pic. This is actually a picture of the iBooks application. And you can see here, if you actually subscribe to the feed, and I'm going to show you this in just a couple of seconds, if you subscribe, they actually automatically download onto your iTunes app. And so let me just show you how that works. See these buttons here? We didn't really explain what these buttons do, but if you just want to get all your content automatically downloaded, so it's ready to go on whatever device you have, whatever smartphone, preferably an iPhone, but whatever, or your iPad, or indeed Apple TV, or any of those sorts of things, or, which is even more super duper than anything, is the transcripts. All you literally have to do is click on these buttons. Now, I hope I'm not going to screw anything up because, of course, I've already clicked on this. But you can literally click on the button, you click on that iTunes button, and off you go to the races. Fantastico. And it really is a brilliant thing. Boy, I'm loving Skype on the iPhone 4. It is a sensation. So that's what you do to get that. Now, let me show you what happens. If I bring up iTunes, where are you? Here we go. Let's just bring in my iTunes here. You'll notice these are my podcasts. And you can see here, check this out. This is the, oops, I am reading them. This is the challenge. These are the transcripts. And if you look at this, your transcripts get automatically downloaded into iTunes. Isn't that super sweet? And what's exciting for me is then that automatically is also downloaded now onto your iPhones, iPads, ebook readers. So you can actually carry the entire challenge around you in that amazing PDF format by Dominic Goucher, who's just done an amazing job with these transcripts. And you've got this stuff. It is so cool. You can just go and grab it. How awesome is that? Just works really well. Now I'm just, hang on, what's Nez saying to me? Here we are. The feeds are also in the iTunes store now too. So you can actually, even if you don't want to find the feeds off the training page, you can actually go into the iTunes store and you can pick up, all the feeds in the podcasts section here. So you can go in and grab the pictures there as well. I love podcasts, just as a matter of interest. I mean, I just find them just such a cool way of catching up with everything, and love it. Look at that. That's the podcast. That's the... Oh, it doesn't say. I'm on that podcast. Very excited I was. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so there we have it. A whole bunch of ways that you can use to access this information. I just get the sense that a lot of people were, sort of either manually downloading this stuff or not realizing that there was more to it than just, clicking on one of these buttons and playing it. You can, of course, see it in the YouTube channel as well. Let's show you that one. Yes, I did mean that. There we are.
Imagine if we could find out
Oh.
whether anybody's making any money in the niches that we're investigating on the internet.
So there you go. And it's also available on YouTube, which is also pretty darn spiffy as well. So we've got your back. We really have you covered with all the different ways that you can possibly get the content, and we've got a way that's possible for you. Can't get YouTube in your country? Fine, right click here and download it. Got a small low bandwidth connection? Got you covered there. Grab the iPhone. Even the iPhone versions are just really, really cool. So you
Imagine if we could find out whether
look at that,
anybody's making
superb stuff.
in the niche
Just works really well.
and what you should have achieved.
So you, as I say, oh,
Jump straight in.
come on, Bob.
Lead out with
Yeah,
start on level 2
that one
in a week's time.
and that one. There we are. So let me just check I've got this all lined up properly. Yes, I have. Very good. So there you have it. You've got a whole bunch of ways in which you can consume the challenge content. We've tried to make it really easy for you, and I think not enough people are using, particularly like the PDF just having them waking up every day. And I'll see if I that's very good. With the iPhone here, as I say, just being able to go into iBooks. I might hurt a little bit because of the you can see all the, but to be able to get that, oh, look at that retina display, people. To be able to carry, and then hang on, not going to do it on my, but to be able to look at things, blow them up as fast as you can. Check out that Logitech camera that I'm using, folks. That actually works. How cool is that? The options for you guys in consuming the content are immense. So very, very cool. Very pleased about that. I wonder if Nez, Skype me if somebody's picked who the missing internet marketer is. Nez, I'll make Nez the judge of that competition. All right, so there we have it. iPhone 4. Now, what else are we going to talk to you guys about today? Let's have a look over here. Oh, yes, I'm getting better at this. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about, I've got MindNode working here on the iPad so that I can keep some track of what we're trying to do. Ah, yes. Something, people ask a lot about what has changed between this year and last year. Now, obviously, the format has changed, but what about techniques? And I was very distressed during the week to notice that people hadn't thought that anything had changed in the market research. Not because things should change for change's sake, but just to keep track of some of the things that are occurring. One thing, and we're going to go back to the screen I want to show you, is something that you are all going to have to be really, really aware of this year, whether you knew it or not. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is your typical, as we say in the business, ego search. So I'm going to search for my name. Now, you'll notice a few things here. Now, see this starred result for Ed Dale? And then there's Ed Dale on Twitter is actually first. Now, this is really interesting. There's good old Tubby Nerd. And there, good on you, Elaine, you just got famous. Thanks for watching. And you can see my blog here, eddale.co, in position 3, Rob Somerville, note to self. Then we've got images and so on. Now, point is, notice something. What's purple and what is blue here? Okay, what's purple and what's blue? Did you notice something? The top 3 results are purple. In other words, they're sites I've visited. And this is crucial because as we get further along in the challenge and you have your own website, you are going to be looking at that website a lot, and you're also going to be typing your phrase up here in the Google box. Now, they started from December last year, but certainly from May, Google, whether you are logged into Google or not, whether you are, given them permission or not, they are tracking what you have clicked in your Google search results. And if you click on a particular site, and particularly if you star or favorite that, so if you hit the good old star button there, just like I did, and it might be small on your screen, but it turned yellow, they will make that result number 1. But here's the thing, they'll only make it number 1 for you, not for anybody else. And if you notice, and let me just double check here to make sure you're seeing this in the screen. Yes, you can see it in the screen, which is great. Up in the top right hand corner, you'll notice I've got my good old Google Global extension. This is so important, particularly for people who are outside of the United States. Because of most markets, I suppose we are typically targeting the US. Although I must say, and this is a really important thing, switch back 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, we always used to say, hey, you really want to target the US as a market. Now, honestly, I've been asked a few times during the week, can you do this stuff in your local language and target your local market? To me, the answer to that is a big, fat, humongous yes. All right, I really encourage you to do that. Like in other years, we've always sort of said to focus on the US market because it's such a big market. And it is, there's no question about that. But every market now, I just read before on Flipboard. Oh, Flipboard. Oh my goodness. Anyway, sorry, I promise not to say much about Flipboard. Oh, Flipboard. Oh. Anyway, what I did read was that, 800 million people in China have cell phones now. Just a minor number. So every market now is a sophisticated market. So, if you have another language other than English as your market, the same techniques, exactly the same things we are testing, will work in your particular marketplace. And the SEOT figure, which is the figure we will go into in a moment, that SEOT figure still applies, because when you think about it, when you think about all of these things, when we really want to try and make sure that we get somewhere between 80 and 100 people looking at our site a day, and that's what the SEOT figure. In fact, let's talk about SEOT figure for the moment. The SEOT figure is an estimation, and it's only a guesstimate, okay, based on this data, actually. And please don't freak out. SERP click-through percentage by rank. Please don't flip out. But what we know of the estimated traffic that goes to a site, and again, these are numbers based on various survey and stats. This was an eye study here, this first one. You'll notice that 56% of people click the first one, 13% click the second one, 9%, 4%, 4%, and down it goes. Interestingly, the bottom ones popped up a little bit. And you can see here another one, which is, this was the AOL leak data, which over 36 million queries were actually leaked. And somebody analysed those, and this is the data that we commonly use, where approximately 42% of people who come to a page click on the first, 11 the second, third 8, and down it goes, right down till the bottom of the page, 10. And interestingly, of course, if you flick over the page to 11, 0.66%. So you can see it's quite dramatic. And you can see down there, and in fact, this chart here, and again, it might be a bit small on your screens. Actually, Ed. I'm hoping that worked. You can see, number 19 position, 0.3, 41st position, in other words, page 4, 0.07% of clicks. So not many. Not many at all. So we use this data to calculate the SEOT. So we're looking at approximately 42% of traffic. Now, is this number accurate? No, it's an estimate based on Google numbers. Now, people think Market Samurai, well, I hope people don't think this at all, but I have seen a couple of people mention it, that they think that maybe Market Samurai makes these numbers up. And I can assure you that Market Samurai does not make these numbers up at all. They absolutely don't do that. What they do is they take Google's data, but Google's data itself is not accurate. Not accurate in any way, shape, or form. They don't deliver the actual absolute data. I'm not sure they can give the absolute data because of the way they have various things set up at different places. And so that is a big part of the whole process. So if that's the case, so if we've got that data, and this actually swings back to our good old Ed Dale Google search here, some people are saying, well, I'm looking at the Market Samurai results and they're different to what I see. The difference is caffeine and the Google personalization, which is automatic regardless of whether you're logged in. And this is a huge change to last year. And it makes Market Samurai even more important because unless you use, the Google Global link, and I'll just type that back in. Unless you use, and you can see those two starred books there, unless you do that search in a different way and you look at the different countries, you are not going to see, the same sort of results. Look at that. That's completely different as well. So you can see there, it makes such a big difference. So there we have it. That's what I wanted to talk about with this particular area. So what are we going to have a look at next? Theme keywords. Once you have selected theme keywords, it's a big issue for you guys. It's a big issue. Wrong camera. What an idiot. Theme keywords. I think one of the big things, and I really encourage you to look at day 7. Here we are. And Rob's day 7 here. I'm just going to bring it up for you. Wish I could spell it correctly, hey. Here we are. I just can't do anything at the moment. Okay, here we are. We've got the challenge.co site. And we're just going to go in. And what I want you to have a look at is it's very important for you guys to go into the training section and really rewatch day 7 and what Rob is talking about here in commercial indicators and summing up this week. And I didn't switch across. So you just had me looking at this stuff and looking stupid. And I was so confident. I was absolutely so confident of driving this. Anyway, point is, you need to watch this because what people aren't doing, once you've selected your theme keyword, you have to reset everything in Market Samurai. You have to then take that theme keyword and make it the basis of your category, so you can choose your category keywords. Really crucial element, and I think something that a lot of people are missing. And indeed, Rob goes and gives you an actual example of this in day 7. So keep an eye out on that one. Now, I think we've got Twitter up here. So while we've got Twitter here, I want to bring your attention to the hashtag, #TC10. Now, what's really cool about #TC10 Okay, what we have here with #TC10 is a fantastic way for people to, tweet and include #TC10. So if you have a save search on Twitter, so people can see what's going on with the challenge. Very cool, right? Sadly, what is really uncool is that we have been seeing some spamming in the channel. By spamming, what I mean is people who are promoting stuff or software or things which have got nothing to do with the challenge. So, look, we love it. We can't really regulate it, but just please be careful about what you see on here. And if you don't see, I suppose, a link from one of us, then just be careful. That's all we're saying. So just watch out with that one. So I wanted to point that out. Okay, and back to here. Let's have a look. A few of you have been asking about, for whatever reason, you don't want to use Market Samurai, and are we going to show you the manual way to do things? No, we're not. And look, there's a really good reason for it, and it's got nothing to do with money. I mean, seriously, the money that we make from Market Samurai helps pay the enormous gigabytes, terabytes of data that we have to pay Amazon for downloading all this data through the challenge. The reason that we do it is because it is such a horrible, horrible, horrible thing to do manually. And we used to have to do it. But in those days, in the days of easy traffic, we would spend about 2 weeks on market research, and we'd spend about 3 days on getting traffic. We need every available day to us during the challenge to focus on getting traffic, because traffic is much harder to get, particularly free traffic. In fact, paid traffic is hard to get, much harder to get. So it's very, very important for us, very important, that we give you the best possible practice. And for goodness sake, it's Samurai's available to you through the whole challenge. Bluntly, if you follow along the whole challenge, the worst case scenario is you'll sell a website and you'll probably get enough money to pay for Market Samurai so you can build your next site, your next project. It's such a crucial tool. I mean, it just covers everything, and we use it every day. It's not just you folk. My mentoring students who pay, thousands and thousands of dollars, we use it every day. We do exactly the same research we taught you in Module 1 is exactly the same research we use. Rob uses, I use, Dan uses, everybody uses. Because we don't pull punches in the challenge. People think because it's free, in some way in their heads, they think there's a catch. Completely understand that, but there's not. And 2, that for some, you think potentially we might be holding some back, because sadly, a lot of people in the industry do pull their punches and hold things back. We don't. We're not. I know you, particularly if you knew, you say, of course you're going to say that, but it's the fact. We don't pull the punches. We just don't. So that's why we go with that. We don't have the time. We've got a commitment for you to build a business in 30-minute a day increments. And this is super crucial, super crucial. And for us to be able to do that, you need to use tools. You just need to. Okay, if I was imagining that you had some issue with downloading a completely free tool for 90 days, then could you do this stuff manually? You could, but it would take an immense amount of time. And that, to me, is such an important element. And so that's why we don't show the manual, because it's far more important to get people doing the challenge correctly, doing it properly, making sure that we absolutely cover off every element and make sure everything can be done and dusted inside of 30 minutes. I think it's been working well. I can't wait for the Q&A after the show. What we're going to do after the show here is that we don't record that part of the show, but we do a Q&A session with you guys. So keep an eye out for that one. So I think we answered that question. Now, the next thing that we need to cover, we've covered off all of those, which is wonderful. Week two. Week two. I can't wait for you guys to see. I shouldn't call it week two. Gosh darn it. Old terminology. I'm getting better. I am getting better. But in module 2, I can't wait for you guys to see it, because we have totally redefined. Remember how you used to have to do 1 billion articles? Well, we've refined that 1 million times. You won't have to. And when you do have to write something, I'm going to show you a way that is magic. There are so many cool new features coming up in Module 2. I can't wait to show them to you. It really is, you'll see, I think, Modules 2, 3, 4, and 5, in fact, all of them from now on are really quite dramatic departures from prior years with the 30-day challenge. So I think, veterans and new challengers alike will really find, quite a difference in these next upcoming modules. And so, of course, we'll kick off Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern on this. So you'll get that there. And you'll be able to do all of that, which is fantastic. And you'll start off, and you'll start off your second module. And I can't emphasize to you the importance, the absolute importance of just doing the 30 minutes each day. And the best thing I can do is leave you champing at the bit for the following day, where you think, I really want to keep going. If I cut you off at that, then you've got enthusiasm for the day forward. If you've beaten your head against a wall for 4 hours and you haven't gotten where you need to go, then it's a real problem. And knowing that you've got the backup of catch up as well, all are elements to keep you going. But here's the thing. Catching up does not mean postponing forever. And this is why I was very serious when I said that the off weeks are the most dangerous and hardest weeks of the challenge, because it gives you a chance to go off the hook and stay off the hook forever. And we really don't want that to happen. And so if you can be in that habit of 30 minutes a day, every single day, it is going to make such a difference. And that's the power. In the mentoring program, we call it critical focus time, because what we realized, and this is the reason behind the whole 30-minute approach, is that when I looked at a lot of my friends who were, how do I put this, were very successful online, they're, and I put myself in this category, barely functional human beings. Seriously. We're just as likely to be watching those cool surfing dogs on YouTube or spending 4 hours in Flipboard. Did I mention Flipboard for the iPad? The most amazing application of the decade, I suspect. It's going to be that groundbreaking, but I digress. But most people spend, and if they're not like me and watching YouTube videos all day, what they do is, they're answering phone calls, they're doing customer service, they're doing the stuff which is not driving the business forward. And when I looked at it, and analysed it. And this is very exciting, is that the most successful people I know would spend somewhere between half an hour and a couple of hours a day doing the actual work that matters. And that was it. And if you look at writers, musicians, I could name example after example after example. And that's why I know if I can get you into the habit of doing 30 minutes a day, you are setting yourself up for success. There's another element to this, and we'll be introduced to this in Module 2 as well, is just to be able to time that session, to race against the clock. And you think, oh, don't be silly, Ed. Setting a timer, that's a bit juvenile, isn't it? It's absolutely vital. And the best people I know do it. They give themselves blocks of time and they hit the clock and they work against the clock. And the best way I can explain this, and using an example, and 30-Day Challenge Plus members would have heard me say this, is, think about all these cooking shows that are on here in Australia at the moment. And of course the UK have had it for years, MasterChef, and you're about to get it in the United States with Gordon Ramsay, which is going to be phenomenal. But the point is they have this, what they call the mystery box challenge, and in it there's a box in front of them. They have no idea what's underneath it. They lift the lid. It could be anything. It could be pig's entrails. It could be anything. But in 30 minutes they have to come up with somehow a dish based on the contents of the mystery box. And in all the thousands of these mystery boxes that I've seen done, I reckon in fact, I think three occasions, I've seen somebody actually fail to deliver something, to plate up, as they say, in the 30 minutes. This got me thinking a little bit. Because the pressure for them became not so much what ended up on the plate, it ended up on beating the 30 minutes, getting the 30 minutes right. And if you can get about the process, so if your success is, wow, I did the 30 minutes and I delivered in the 30 minutes, the pressure and the intensity goes about the time, something which is completely in your control, because 30 minutes is 30 minutes, can't change it. Whereas if you're worried about the outcome, am I going to make $10,000 this week? You don't have control over that. You have no control whatsoever. And so, for me, if I can trick you into using a timer and to understanding how important focus is by getting you in the habit of doing it during the challenge, I know I've set you up to just have immensely better chance of being successful, online, offline, whichever way you look at it. Look at all the best writers. They write to the clock or they write to word count. The best runners and marathon runners, they don't run to kilometres, they run to time. It's all bike riders. Take your pick. Sarah McLachlan, the magnificent Canadian singer-songwriter, every day she turns on the recording device, 30 minutes. No disturbances, no nothing, and she looks and records it for riffs and for new things. Twyla Tharp, the amazing choreographer in New York, every day turns up, shows up. It's the habits that we form in our business that dictate our success. Not the techniques, not the clever strategies, not the cool tools. None of those. It's the habits that make the difference. And if I can get that across to you, then I have done an enormous job. And when I say I really should say the incredible team of people who make the challenge possible. And that's what we have to get across to you guys. Because if we do that right, world's your oyster. It's going to be awesome. So, hey, guess what? Your iPhone isn't a mouse. Who knew? Okay. So, I think we've done that. We've done iTunes. We've done likes on the forum. Oh, yes. I just wanted to show you, you've probably seen me tweeting a lot about this. And I wanted to show you, I'll just bring it up. Just so you're not confused and, just so you're not, as I say, just distracted by the whole thing. But if I, here we are, bring it up here for you, do that. Okay, This is good old opportunity.co, and of course it's the .co, and you'll notice that the challenge this year is .co. You'll notice my website is eddale.co, and it's a pretty interesting story, and I encourage you to go to opportunity.co at some point, and you can see if you click on the blog here, and you click through, you'll see there is quite a terrifying example. I went quick, but you can see there's this ugly bloke here, and telling the story about .co, and you'll see the whole thing. But what I want to do, and so if you've got a spare couple of secs, certainly go for that. But what I wanted to explain, particularly to beginners and people starting the challenge, is .co for you. At this point, you don't have to worry about .co. And there's an important reason for this, is until it gains a certain level of acceptance, again, this gets complex, but Google designates some domains as global. So .com is a global domain. A great example is .tv, which is, of course, Tuvalu, the country of Tuvalu, but it's, of course, since then, .tv has become a global, basically what Google would call a global domain. So it doesn't regionalize the search results. So if you had .tv, you might only show up in Tuvalu and all those people surfing in Tuvalu. And so currently, .co, unless you've got a lot of backlinking and everything going to it, and you could see on my page it was number 3, I think. At this point, Google hasn't given .co a global designation. So it's not going to rank as obviously as a .com would for our purposes. So for beginners out there, you want to continue to use a .com. Veterans, on the other hand, to get you that keyword spread, and you'll know what I'm talking about, .co I think is a great opportunity. It's also a great opportunity for people who use branding. I've seen some really poor taste stuff about, because of course .co is .columbia, was the Colombian domain. It will be made a global domain. I'm convinced of it. Twitter is using it. There are some other very big names that are going to start using it for URL shortening and so on. So I think it'll get that, but it doesn't at the moment. So until it has a global designation, it's not you wouldn't use those domains for trying to achieve ranking when you're testing. You would be much better off with a .com. However, for veterans out there, there are some wonderful opportunities from a brand perspective, from a market leadership perspective, and once it achieves a global designation, obviously some keyword phrase opportunities as well. So just keep that in mind, and that I think that's very clear. I think we're good. Okay. Final thing that I want to point out. If we go back to the challenge and we'll go back to the forum, we have here Teams and Meetups. I would really love it during the course of the challenge if people would organise, and of course I forgot to switch drats. There we are. I would love it if people organised meetups in their area with fellow challengers. I know Andrew Nesbitt's already done one in Brisbane. We will be doing one here in Melbourne in the next couple of weeks. Stay tuned. We'll blog all about that. I can't wait for that. And I really encourage you, wherever you happen to be in the world, to organise meetups. I know we had some great meetups in London last year, in Atlanta, in San Francisco, in New York, all over the place. And I would really, really encourage you guys to do that, because it's nice to be able to meet fellow people who are creating an online business. It makes it's just fantastic, because if there's a negative in this business, it's the whole thing of, it's just you in front of a computer, right? and that can be, isolating. It is definitely negative. So to be able to meet up and meet like-minded fellow crazy people like yourself is wonderful. And it's fantastic, and just getting people together. And I know a lot of you who are in teams are already seeing the benefits of being able to bounce things backwards and forwards. It really makes sense. So I just really love you to make use of that. And I've got to say, I love the forum this year. I think it is really wonderful. Oh, look, see these little orange buttons here? They are the RSS feeds for each of these different... Now, that looks horrific there because that's the RSS feed. But if I copy that link address, and then I go into something like my Google Reader, which I do by clicking there, and I click Add Subscription, and paste, click Add. Then to all of my devices that are all set up, every time somebody adds here, everybody sometimes adds here, and I'm going to put it in my internet marketing section. I'm able to go in and see what the forum post is about. So that is I think it's a fantastic way of following along with the forums. And then if you find something that's interesting, you can go in and click into it, which is just fantastic. So you've got all of those opportunities. And damn it, I didn't show you again. Oh, I'm sorry. I wish I could drive this properly. I'm sorry about that. But basically what I'm going to show you that again because it's so cool. If you click on, where are we? Advanced Marketing Chat, because I haven't got that one yet. So if I right click and I go copy that link address, then I go into my Google Reader here, and I go and click on the Add Subscription button, and then I paste that feed, click Add, there it is, and I'm going to put that in my internet marketing box. There we are, Advanced Marketing Chat. So I can keep a track of, and of course I don't use Google Reader on the web much anymore. I use magnificent apps like Reader on the iPhone or the iPad version of it, which are just superb. But you can follow along and you can keep track of all of that. All right, so that's the end of the lecture part of the show. And what we're going to do now is we're going to have a 5-minute break. Yes, a break. We'll be stop broadcasting for 5 minutes. You may see the replay of this episode start up. Don't panic. We will be coming back and we will be doing the question and answer session. And I'm going to magically make Rob Somerville appear right here. And we're going to be tackling your questions, answering your questions, and really looking forward to that. Some of you have already submitted some on the blog, and of course we'll have a look at the chat as well. So thank you for being part of the challenge. Make sure you're there for Monday. Show up on Monday. Get back into the habit of doing it. Practice this week. If you're done, try some practice. See how fast you can get it done. The more that you can get into the habit of working on the business on a daily basis, or, well, you know what I mean, workday basis, the better the chance of your success. It's that simple. With that, I hope you enjoyed today's show. I almost got the driving of it right, almost, but we'll keep working on it. And of course, you can always watch this on YouTube, or you can watch on any of the other ways that we distribute this show. So have fun. Sayonara. See you. Go have a coffee. We will be back in 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes to show the show. All right. Ciao for now.